I'm sure someone is going to tell me what I should have done. Big day today for my treehouse build. Everything's ready. I'm going to start building it. But first things first, the beams I need to build my tri-beam are right at the bottom of this pile. So I need to do some organising and sort that out. Now to find the pieces I need in here. Okay, so I finally got there. These are the two massive beams, 200mm by 100mm, 5.4 meters long. So that is the core of what's going to be supporting the treehouse. I'm going to be turning that into a tri-beam, fixing that to the tree with our tree bolts. And it's cool. Now the timber's nicely organised into the different types and lengths. These are the massive 7.2 meter joists that are going to be running the length of the treehouse. And these 150 by 100mm beams, these are going to be the struts which support the main beam and to form the tri-beam. If that makes sense. I'm sure it'll make sense once I've put it all together. I'm also now going to learn just how heavy these massive beams are and whether I can carry them all on my own. Let's see. Here it goes. First, I'm going to lay out the beams in the tri-beam shape just to make sure I've got enough space to build it on this hard standing area. Plenty of space. Now I just want to stop and think about this a little bit because just the other day I happened to see on the treehouse.shop website where I bought the German tree bolts that I'm going to use for the project. I saw them mention that the bottom of the tri-beam needs to be at least 50 centimeters from ground level. That's to stop water and soil splashing up and rot and contagion getting into the hole that you created to fit the tree bolt in. So that is clearly not 50 centimeters high. So I need to work out whether I need to change the sort of geometry of the tri-beam or whether I can just raise it 50 centimeters. One of the issues there is that I've marked all of the levels out based on that point there, which is where the slide that we bought would land. And so if we raise it half a meter, the end of the slide is going to be half a meter in the air. Not the end of the world, we can always raise it up and dig up off the event. So I just need to think that through and work out whether I need to change anything too much. Another thing is that I designed the treehouse so that this top beam is 5 meters long. It came in standard 5.4 meter lengths. So I'm considering whether I just leave it the same. I think I'm going to, because this overhang is still well within the tolerance and it should be able to take it. And it's not too far out of the original design. Plus, I think, I need to check this, from my initial designs, it could have been up to 6 meters wide without risking the tri-beam twisting too much. So another consideration, I just want to double check before I start cutting this, because that would be a really expensive mistake to make. Right, first I'm gonna measure out the 45-degree cut just to be sure. I realise my circular saw is actually really quite small, so I'm gonna have to finish it off with a hand saw. Maybe I should have just turned it over. Let's give that a go. Making a bit of a pig's ear of this. Not the end of the world, or is it? I'm sure someone is going to tell me what I should have done. Alright, just double check the design. This needs to be 2,219 millimeters, 2219. Right, I'm gonna go with the original design for the tri-beam here, but I'm just gonna raise it 400 mil. A bit nervous I'm gonna regret that, because this line here is where the future deck height was gonna be. But imagine that 400 mil higher, and you see that bigger tree up here is gonna start getting even more in the way in terms of ducking. But the deck is gonna come out this far, so I think by the time you get to the end, you should have enough head height. The same goes for this side. There's this branch up here, which is gonna get a bit close to head height, but I think it'll be fine. It's a treehouse after all, so I'm going to treat the cut ends. First, I'll attach the bottom corner of the struts, where the struts meet, with this massive right angle joint. The tree bolt will go through here when it's ready, and then I'll attach those struts to the main beam. I came back to finish my tri-beams, only to discover that strong winds had pushed the shelter I put up all over the place, properly tangled it around all of these trees and all these new shrubs I planted, taken the poles out. Yeah, it's made a bit of a mess of it. So before I get going with that, I'm gonna have to fix it, and definitely need to tie it up a bit better to keep it stronger in the strong winds up here. Right, I have now fixed the shelter, and I've sorted out the guide ropes, tied them onto various trees around the site. So I'm hoping that will do the job. Now to finish off these tri-beams. So now I've got to put one of these top brackets onto the top beam of the tri-beam so that it can take one of these massive German tree bolts. Let's go. Now a couple of big carriage bolts to finally secure it in place. Now I'm not entirely sure these are the right tool for the job, but I've done a bit of research and I think they should. They're pretty massive. So now I need to use these to connect the strut to the top beam. So this little pilot hole. Now the same on the other side. Right, so that's both struts attached to the beams. Now I am going to use some of this 2x4. I'm going to attach it basically to the bottom of this beam, butt up against the strut to give it more stability. It's essentially like creating a wood joint without creating a wood joint. Bit of a cheat there. But apparently it's structurally stronger to leave the beam intact and not cut a notch into it and just use the screws and this method. So technically it's better, apparently. Ah, balls. Thought I might have been doing that. Oopsie. I am going to do that one again. And actually, I'm realising I did this completely wrong. I should have put it like this sooner to make it a lot easier to drill in. At least the other screws are looking okay. I just got to unscrew that one and do it again. Oh, bother! Screw thread has gone all the way through, so I can't back it out. Let's see what we can do with that. Easy! Okay. I'd really like to cover this hole up. Can I correct the part? Now to make the piece of wood that will butt up against the strut to make it even more secure. Now this does not need to be precise. If it's a bit short, that's fine. It just won't look as nice, will it? To be honest, I could probably just do a really short one, but kind of like the look of it being longer. And in my head, it makes it a bit stronger, I guess. I wish I could use my chop saw for this. I was planning on getting some electrics ran up here, but it didn't happen. So yeah, gonna have to be the circular saw. Yeah, bit of an overhang. That's all good. Now I need to chop one more the other side. Gonna treat both of the cut ends. Right, let's do another. And that's the first tri-beam done. Upside down, obviously, or well, obvious to me. Looking good. One more to go. Right, there's something very obvious that I've missed. That has to be done. Can I pick it up? Oh, I moved it. Look. I think I'm going to need some help. Right, let's make another one. So that's the tri-beams made. They are ready to be attached to the trees with these massive German tree bolts and this incredibly big breaker bar. Which I'm incredibly excited about. You may have noticed that one of them, this one, is actually taller than the other one. That is because the small one, the tree is closer to the ground, so I've tried to compress it as much as possible so I don't have to lift the heights too much. And yeah, this one, this is the bigger one. It goes on this tree there. So it's way higher, there's way more clearance, and that one is much closer to the ground, so there's less clearance, so it needs a smaller one. That's the logic behind it. So next step, as I say, put them in the trees. I'm gonna need some help. These are massive. I can't pick them up at all by myself. I've got a winch for when it comes to putting them in the tree and lifting them up, but actually getting them next to the tree, I'm gonna need a hand. So that's the two tri-beams made. Follow me to see me put them in the tree with these massive German tree bolts and this massive breaker bar.